I just want to ask you this one more time, Dylan.
About the Saudi prince?
Well, no.
I'm kidding.
So there was no deep throat that had credible information. Because you guys were the only people out there for a moment. Well, you weren't the only people, but you were the most visible people that if someone wanted to get something off their chest, they could have sent it to you, but...
It was us or Alex Jones, that was usually it.
And even when it came to us, it still went to Alex Jones.
And often I did it. Like people would send us emails like, I was going to send this to Alex, but I decided to send it to you guys instead. Not like...
The problem,
not patting ourselves on
the problem with that is vetting information and putting out there. We've been, and it is. It's I used this analogy the other day, but again, there's so many good things that come our way. But once in a while, if there's one bad one that screws you, then it's like a turd in a jelly jar, or I'm sorry, candy jar. You keep eating candy and knowing there's a turd in there. Eventually, you're going to stop eating it.
Eventually.
So hopefully, you would think. Okay. So at a certain point with this information, there's so much information coming in, but how can we vet it? You know, like how can we? The paperwork supposedly from someone in the Air Force who says that there's a serial number coming from the printer that it was printed from, and if we release that paperwork, then she'll go to jail, and like all this crazy stuff. What do you do with that?
Yeah,
when you're 22 years old and you're just like want to go out and ride your four-wheeler, and it's just like, what am I going to do with this? I don't know. I'm not going to do it. Let's just concentrate on the good information, which is we know that Building 7 wasn't hit by a plane, had no reason to come down. We knew that it was coming. We know that we did nothing to stop it, and we covered it up. So.
Well, that's it. You know, it's over the time it becomes less about what you don't know, and more about just what you do know for a fact. But in terms of like deep throats, I mean, yeah, unfortunately, a lot of it was just people who said they had something and didn't.
Yeah.
A couple of them did pan out here and there, and there's, like I said, there's the over 1,000 hours of audio of someone who basically like hit us up like a long time ago, and the email chain kind of started popping back up. But it's, you know, it's 1,000 hours of audio from 9/11, but the legality surrounding how we release it, you know, is just, how do we even go about it? So it's like we could release segments of it, but if we release segments, then people are going to want to hear the whole thing. And if we want to, we can release all the raw data from the machine itself, and there'll be no questioning its legitimacy. But then we might enter into a bit of a legal snafu with the company that the audio technically belongs to. So.
And then
things like that.
Kurt Sonnefield's footage, which was just recently released back in 2000, I don't know what. I flew down to Buenos Aires to meet him, to get his footage directly from him, and it was supposed to be the smoking gun, and it was supposed to be this huge thing, and we get back, and it's not anything. It's just footage of Ground Zero, which is spectacular. Of course, there's one missing file we were never able to track down, and since then. But again, it's you know, these people who say, "Oh, I have proof," and
this is the
so
smoking
I fly
gun
19
right here.
hours to Buenos Aires to meet this guy who's been kicked out of the United States for murder, and I get this footage. And I go through, we spend days going through it, and it's great as a huge historical archive, but is there, like, you know, the back end of the pod sticking out or something like that? Is there
the reason that he's been blackmailed by the U.S. government in there? We didn't see it. Does it mean it's not in there? No, but not in the footage we saw. So again, it's like, and that's another reason that eventually you just fucking give up and walk away, because you have all these expectations. It's like, oh, we got this big break coming up. We got this big break coming up. If we can just get this big break, if we can just get this document, you know, if we can just get this shot right here, and eventually you just give up. Because it's a lot of false leads.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we did. Yeah. Because I mean, you look at April, you look at Barry, you look at the things we're able, the archives we're able to get, and that's massive strides forward in information that wouldn't have been there without us. So for that, I'm happy.
No, we did.
But at the end, we still don't have accountability. We still don't have anybody that's been held accountable for the days. We still don't have any real answers as to anything.
And that's the problem. And that's why we're sitting here talking about it still.
Yeah. And we will for decades to come.
And it will be. But I mean, we still talk about JFK. We still talk about Gulf of Tonkin. We still talk about
because I heard someone ask you guys the other day, "Is this relevant?" Well, of course it's relevant. I mean, look, we are potentially in World War III right now.
Are people on stage using 9/11 as justification for stuff still? Then yeah, it kind of fucking matters.
Then we should still be talking about it. We should still be learning about it and still be researching it. And again, as you said, the climate of fear that we live in today as Americans is directly relatable to 9/11 and our insane foreign policy that we've enacted since then, and the wars we've started is just coming home to roost at this point.
And again, like everyone wants to scream about ISIS and how horrible it is. It's just like, all right, well, everyone wants to. It's weird, like they want to complain about ISIS and 9/11 in the same sentence. It's like, do you not understand how possibly your reaction to one thing might have created another, and that by reacting to this in that same way might do people not fucking pay attention? Like, it's just insane. And it's like, and again, I think it's just that point where at a certain point you either, you know, go crazy and shoot yourself, or you just have to kind of stop letting the world drive you insane.
I turned my TV off in 2008. Cable. I haven't had cable since 2008.
It's so nice to not have cable.
I don't watch TV, which is strange because I'm an editor of actual TV shows, because I can't handle it. There's so much ads that's just been worked into every single thing that we do. I lost my train of thought.
I read that the people that edit trailers hate movies.